Now, if you were to ask me what are my top 5 favorite Greek dishes, it would change. It would be based on season, what I'm feeling at the moment, but I can probably guarantee you Gemista will definitely always be in my top 5. This is one of my favorite dishes to make. My mum makes the best Gemista. I think mine is coming close to my mum's, but I'm going to show you how I make our version today. So I've got my capsicums and tomatoes here. I've hollowed them out and I've kept the lid so we can place them back on later. I've got red and green capsicums. I've also got some tomatoes here that I've hollowed out with a spoon. I've just got one more to do that we'll do together. Just simply cutting off the top and of course reserving the flesh that we take out of the tomato, like so. We want to keep the ingredients super fresh. We want to reserve this beautiful tomato flavour so our Gemista can be nice and delicious and fresh. So we've got the flesh of our tomatoes in our bowl. Now all we need to do is add our Gemista ingredients. Now I love my Gemista to be really herbaceous, full of fresh herbs and fresh ingredients, and that's what we're going to use today. So of course we're going in with onion, 1 whole onion, garlic, chopped fine. You could even grate it in if you like. I'm using medium grain rice that I've rinsed and washed. I love lots of dill in my Gemista, so I'm adding a whole bunch worth. Lots of fresh mint in like so, and fresh parsley. Another ingredient my yaya likes to add to her Gemista is fennel fronds. If you have those growing in the garden, because they do grow like weeds, definitely add some fennel fronds. Going in with some dried oregano. I've got some tomato passata here, about 400 grams. I'm just going to add half of that and reserve the rest for later. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Salt and pepper, of course. Some pepper. Peperi, and 3/4 cup of water. We want a little bit of liquid in there just to encourage the rice to steam up and to cook. And of course, extra virgin olive oil. So we've got everything in our bowl now. Just mix it through, make sure everything's well combined. It smells so fresh, and that's exactly how I love Gemista. I do enjoy the vegetarian version much more. It is my favorite. You can definitely add beef mince to the mix. I would add about 300 grams to this recipe, but you would have to increase the number of vegetables that you've got in your tray to fit all of the filling. Just going to add a little bit more water. I do think it can do with just a little bit more. Now time to fill our Gemista. Just generously fill each and every one of our capsicums and tomatoes with our beautiful, fresh, herbaceous filling, like so. Now there's a general rule of thumb that you could follow when you're making Gemista. Because our vegetables are always different sizes, the quantities of the rice and the herbs that we use might differ. You might end up having too much filling or not enough. General rule of thumb is 3 tablespoons of rice per capsicum and 1 tablespoon of rice per tomato. That'll give you a good base. We measured that out perfectly. Just enough rice for each vegetable. That's perfect. So happy with that. Now you don't have to just use capsicums and tomatoes to make Gemista. You can use grey zucchinis, those are my favourite to use, or you can even use eggplants as well. Just make sure the eggplants aren't too big. So our Gemista is almost ready. You're probably looking at that piece of feta thinking, why hasn't she put it into the mix yet? I like to break off little parts and stick them right into the Gemista. Now you could put it straight into the filling and mix it through, but I do find the feta breaks apart and becomes really small. When I cut into my Gemista, I like to see a nice big piece of feta in there. So all I'm going to do is take chunks of them and push them right into the center. Be as generous as you want. For capsicums, I like to add maybe 2 or 3 large pieces of feta. For the tomatoes, I just put 1 generous little piece like so. Going in with our last piece of feta here, I'm just going to put that one right on top. Set this aside. Now this is something my mum does that I continue to do. By the way, my mum makes the best Gemista. Mine will never be as good as hers, but I'm kind of close. What my mum does is she gets some breadcrumbs and she sprinkles them on top. So that way any juices will be absorbed by the breadcrumbs and it just makes the little crusty layer on top even more flavourful. So right on top like so. Totally optional, you can skip this part. Top these off with some extra virgin olive oil, of course, just to help those breadcrumbs even crisp up a little bit. And then we'll add the caps back on. Beautiful. What a gorgeous dish Gemista is. Now we're not done yet. I've got some potatoes here. I'm going to peel them and cut them and arrange them around our Gemista. Just cutting our potatoes into quarters. We don't want to cut the potatoes too thin because they will be in the oven for an hour or so. Arranging them among the Gemista like so. Beautiful. Nice. Now we're full. So I've got my tomato passata from before. We added half into the mixture and we reserved the rest. I've got that just here, and to it I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water, some oregano. To that we're adding 1 garlic finely chopped, like so, straight into the passata and oregano. Extra virgin olive oil, as always. Salt and pepper. Give that a little mix, and we're going to pour it directly over our Gemista. This will flavour our potatoes and give us a nice sauce to dip our bread into later. Now I just want to concentrate this sauce mostly on top of the potatoes so they can get that rich, garlicky tomato flavour. And of course you can put it on top of the Gemista as well. So we're ready to bake our Gemista. I'm just going to pop some baking paper on top, and then I'm going to tightly cover it with aluminium foil. That way we can keep the steam inside the tray and the rice can cook. Covered nice and tight, we're ready to bake now. I'm going to pop it into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about an hour and a half. I want to make sure the rice is cooked first, so always be sure to check the center of your capsicums. Afterwards, I'm going to take the aluminium foil off and let it develop some color for about half an hour, then it's ready. Our Gemista is ready now. It's been about 2 hours. About half an hour ago, I took the aluminium foil off. It looks amazing. Smells delicious. I can't wait to serve it up. Look at that. Sizzling. There's lots of sauce at the bottom there for you to dip your bread into. I even like spooning it into the Gemista itself. Let's serve up. Now the question is, do you like capsicum or do you like tomato? I like capsicum. So let's grab this one here, looks good. Pop it onto my dish just like that. Might have a tomato as well. Gorgeous. And of course, some of our patates. They look good too. Now I absolutely love Gemista with a good dollop of Greek yogurt on the side. It gives it a little bit of freshness and it goes really well with the feta cheese inside the Gemista. Our Gemista is ready to enjoy, but typical me, I love my salsa, so I'm just going to add a little bit of that on top so it can seep through the rice. Now, like I said, I love Gemista to be really herbaceous, and you can see all those herbs inside. The rice is beautifully cooked. Piece of feta just there. It's messy, but in a good way. And I'm probably going to burn my mouth, but I don't care. It is delicious and probably one of the best Gemistas I've ever made. That little piece of feta in there, all that dill, that mint, it is the tastiest Gemista, and I absolutely love it. And I think you will too.